Welcome to the 13th Annual Consuls Reception. Welcome, Mayor Wu. Sorry, I have my back to you. So here's the thing. We said through the pandemic, my name is Mary Eintema, by the way. I'm the president of WorldBoston, and I will try to be brief because we have a couple of people to hear from, and of course, our wonderful mayor in just a moment. So we said, through the depths of the pandemic, the mission persists. The mission of international engagement and global cooperation, it's a very sensitive mic, is as important as ever, and your commitment to it helped us to get here today, in person. And here, the world knows, is the place to be. Sorry about the feedback. You can ask President Biden, who was here this week. You can ask President Obama, who was here last week, or ask Prince William, now of Wales, who will be here in December for the Earthshot Prize, or any of the myriad of local businesses and organizations that are partnering internationally on life sciences, clean energy, education, and more. And as a community, we know that our best future is international. In the world, creating and sharing solutions for our shared future. So we're celebrating today, and we're also quite serious about getting to that best future. We'll need strong values of nonpartisanship and active hospitality. We'll need to include everybody as we share with our global visitors and as we investigate new program topics and dive deeper on others. What we thought we knew about international relations and the people who do international relations is changing as we get to that best future. So let's get to it. Now, I don't have a program book. I'm going to steal Len's. He's used to me taking things from him. Here's the thing. Please read this, because we don't have time to go through it. But so many people did so much to make this event, and the stories in here happen. So please hold your applause until I'm done. We're so grateful to Mayor Wu and her wonderful team in City Hall for your ongoing cooperation. We're grateful to our Consular Corps and its dean, our friend Len Kopelman, for your daily diplomatic work. You will see many name tags have beautiful dots on them. So blue dots, raise your hand. Thank you, WorldBoston Blue Dot board members. And sponsors have green dots, guess why? So because of them, we remain independent and nonpartisan. Sponsors, raise your generous hands. You'll hear from, we're gonna hold our applause, but I feel the same way. So you'll hear from two sponsors in a minute, HAC, a longtime partner, and Cushman & Wakefield, a new sponsor. I also note presidential sponsor Berkshire Bank and a major sponsor American Tower. Our mission takes a lot of work, which takes a great staff, in particular Natalie Mace, who managed this event. Staff, raise your talented hands. Yay! Now, please join me. Oh, yes, and I also want to recognize the fact that, as Napoleon said, an army marches on its stomach, and we could not do a consul's reception without good nutrition and delicious treats. So thank you very much to Soleil and Chef Cheryl. We've worked with her on a couple of projects, and we thank you for your partnership. So, now, please join me in recognizing all of these wonderful partners. And so now, I'm going to hand the mic to our friend Len Kopelman. Right ahead, Len.
On behalf of the Consular Corps of Boston, thank you, Mary, and thank you, WorldBoston. WorldBoston is an essential partner to the diplomatic Corps, and we look forward to continuing our fruitful cooperation with you. In fact, the attendance here is terrific. It's the best we've ever had. So again, super congratulations to you. Allow me to recognize our Consular Corps, represented by country. When I call your country, please raise your hand. We'll hold our applause to the very end of the list of countries. Okay, here we go. We have quite a few countries in the world that want to be in Boston. Austria, Belgium, Brazil, Bulgaria, Cabo Verde, Cambodia, Canada, Colombia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Estonia, Finland, France, Georgia, Germany, Greece, Guatemala, Haiti, Honduras, Hungary, Iceland, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Jamaica, Japan, Korea, Latvia, Lebanon, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Mexico, Morocco, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Pakistan, Peru, Portugal, Romania, Rwanda, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Slovak Republic, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Thailand, Turkey, United Arab Emirates, and United Kingdom. I would now like to introduce the chair of the WorldBoston Board of Directors, a man who's been devoted so many years to us and been so helpful to us, Jeff Simrod.
Thanks, Lynn. And again, I apologize for my back here. I want to begin by thanking WorldBoston's Board of Directors for their participation and support. And I want to thank the staff for their effort and dedication. Together, we form an extraordinary team. I also want to thank Mayor Michelle Wu and her staff for hosting us at this beautiful building, which is located in the heart of a vibrant city. How meaningful it is, once again, to gather in person with our Consular Corps and guests. While WorldBoston shifted nimbly to online programming during the pandemic, I think we could agree that in person is just as good, perhaps better. Please join us at WorldBoston events, in person or online, soon. Now I have the privilege of introducing our convening sponsor. First, though, I want to acknowledge and thank all our sponsors, including Berkshire Bank and American Tower. All sponsors are listed on page 8 of the program. Consult your program and thank the sponsors vigorously. Finally, I can hand the mic, or the podium in this case, to Rob Lykin, the Regional Director of the American Jewish Committee, New England, our convening sponsor. Rob, we thank AJC for its continued support and partnership. Please go ahead.
Good evening.
Hey, Rob.
It is exciting to be here today to celebrate the first in-person Consuls Reception in several years, isn't it?
Yes!
We at AJC share many commitments with WorldBoston, and we have a special regard for the vital work it does quietly, creating forums where people can meet and converse about the important issues of our time. Of course, that is what diplomats do, day in and day out. In a world that's filled with discordant notes, diplomats here in Boston and around the world quietly stitch together the cultural exchanges, the educational programs, the forums for the exchange of ideas, the shared plans, and the difficult conversations that build connections locally and globally. I'm glad to have this opportunity to say thank you to WorldBoston and all of the members of the Diplomatic Corps for the vital work you do to nurture cooperation and understanding across borders and cultures. It's now my pleasure to introduce tonight's keynote speaker, the Honorable Michelle Wu, Mayor of Boston. Mayor Wu is the daughter of immigrants, a Boston public school mom, an MBTA commuter. As mayor, she's working to deliver bold, systemic change and make Boston a city for everyone. She was the first Asian American woman elected to the Boston City Council, and 3 years later, in 2016, she became the first woman of color to be elected as its president. As a counselor, Mayor Wu was the lead sponsor of Boston's paid parental leave and healthcare equity ordinances. She also authored Boston's Communications Access Ordinance, which guarantees translation, interpretation, and assistive technology for access to city services. Mayor Wu got her start in City Hall working for Mayor Thomas Menino. She later was statewide constituency director in the Senate campaign for her former law professor, Elizabeth Warren. A former restaurant owner, legal services attorney, and legal guardian of her younger sister, Mayor Wu understands firsthand the barriers of families and communities face. She has a background in community advocacy, also in providing legal advice to low-income business owners, as well as the immigrant survivors of domestic violence. In 2016, Mayor Wu was honored as one of the 10 outstanding young leaders in Greater Boston by the Greater Boston Chamber of Commerce, and is also part of Marie Claire magazine's New Guard, the 50 most influential women in America. Mayor Wu graduated from Harvard College and Harvard Law School. She's fluent in Mandarin and Spanish and lives in Rosendale with her husband and 2 boys. Mayor Wu.
Thank you very much, Rob. I hope that very generous but very long intro qualifies as my keynote remarks. Thank you. I very, very appreciate the warm welcome here, and I'm so honored to, I guess, technically host you all, although this is an instance where we are so grateful to benefit from the many, many hours of hard work that WorldBoston and our Corps and all our volunteers have put together. And so to join you here in the heart of our city, in Roxbury, in a building named after one of Boston's champions for equity and inclusion and making sure that there's accountability for representing all in the wealth and success of our city, Bruce Bolling, and in a building that houses, in some ways, the most important mission of what we do in city government, to create opportunities for our young people and the next generation. When I was first interning for Mayor Menino, those many years ago, this building was just a dream, and in fact, my very first meeting with the mayor was in his office, the one that seemed terrifyingly large and cavernous with the ceilings and concrete walls that I get to sit in every single day now. But the first conversation was about the development of the then Ferdinand Building, now Bolling Building, what it could mean for our community to have jobs and vitality and a hub for all to truly plug in right in the center and the heart of our city. Mayor Menino was quite frustrated with the pace that project was going, and I take that urgency in the work that we're doing here today. I'm also very grateful here to be reflecting on what it meant growing up as a child of immigrants. This is a room and an incredible site that I would have found incredibly nourishing as a young girl. I still find incredibly inspirational today. But when I was growing up in Chicago and then in the suburbs there, my identity as someone who's a daughter of immigrants from Taiwan was something that more often than not in school, I felt shame about. I felt I had to hide, whether it was because I was being bullied about the lunches that I would bring to school with pig ears and seaweed and the delicacies that I loved at home, and I quickly learned that I needed to just pack that peanut butter and jelly sandwich and try to blend in. Or the feelings that I would feel with my parents and their accents when they spoke English as they were learning their second, and in my mom's case, third language. What I'm so proud of today is that the young people that this building serves in our Boston Public Schools Department come from the countries you represent, the cultures we are so proud to highlight, and in every aspect of the experience that we are creating for them in this city, from the school lunches to the curriculum to your presence at all of our community events, including just today at the flag raising for Mexican Independence Day, seeing our youngest mariachi performers out today. My soul and my heart are so full with gratitude for what you all are doing to make sure that each and every one of our kids in Boston sees the whole of themselves and their culture represented, appreciates and finds value and welcoming in the ways that we can connect to each other. I know so much work goes into that, so I want to thank again and echo the gratitude from Mary and your team and all of the members of New England's Consular Corps and your staff for making this possible. I want to thank the international organizations, business councils, and trade offices for joining us, and recognize members of my team who are here tonight who focus on this every single day as well, making sure that Boston is truly a world-class city and continues to grow in our being a city for everyone. Tonight we have our Chief of Economic Opportunity and Inclusion here, where's Shagun Idwu. Thank you, Shagun, for your leadership. Members of his office's Global Affairs team, which continues to serve as a bridge between Boston and the rest of the world. That includes James Kalaman, Sarah DeLude, Yushi Wang, Shanice Wallace, Midori Morikawa, and Aaliyah Forrest. I know the president of the Boston Public Library System, David Leonard, is here with us. Thank you so much for what you do to represent and embody the cultural heritage, past, present, and future, and access and throughout our neighborhoods. WorldBoston and the City of Boston both have long, proud legacies as active citizens on the global stage. In fact, in 1949, the year that the World Affairs Council of Boston, which would later become WorldBoston, was founded, Boston City Council approved a resolution in favor of, quote, absolute and complete independence of Ireland. This at its core is what our global affairs team and our thriving international affairs community, including our Consular Corps, our citizen diplomats, and all the individuals and organizations here tonight are about. Support, solidarity, connection, and collaboration. Those values were on full display just 3 weeks ago when we gathered outside City Hall to raise the Ukrainian flag in celebration of Ukrainian Independence Day and reaffirm our support for the people of Ukraine who continue to fight fiercely in defense of their freedom. We are, and always have been in Boston, a city of immigrants, proud of our roots and how the richness of our cultures and traditions continue to shape us. From the first wave of Irish immigrants in the 1800s to the Russian, Chinese, Italian immigrants in the following century, to community members from Haiti, Cabo Verde, Vietnam, so many other parts of the world and Latin America who make up our vibrant city today, the majority of Boston's residents are people of color. Our Boston Public School students come from more than 110 countries of origin. Nearly a third of Boston's residents were born in another country, and almost half of all young people in our city have at least one parent who was born in another country. Our administration is committed to ensuring that our partnerships within the city and our partnerships around the world reflect that diversity and are representative of all of our Boston's communities. Just given by the sheer numbers, the work that we do to uplift, provide resources to, and connect our immigrant families really is the work of connecting our entire city and the health and well-being of all of our communities. That's why we're expanding the horizon of global affairs, building new and lasting partnerships that hold us accountable to how we impact not only the people of Boston, but our partner communities across the globe. We'll be focusing not only on nurturing existing relationships, but forging new connections in South America, the Caribbean, in Asia, and in Africa. We are a world-class city, not only because our residents hail from all over and bring with them the unique wisdom, art, and energy of their homelands, but because of all you do and the work that you do. You all help us share valuable information with your communities and connect them to resources and opportunities. And that's when it comes to foreign affairs or things as basic and as fundamental as how to get around during a, say, subway shutdown for 30 days. You also help us shape and inform the policies and decisions that better serve the people who give our city life. We're gathering best practices collectively on climate resilience and more efficient transit infrastructure from sister cities around the world. In Boston, we are a proud city of firsts, but we are always striving to be a city of bests, and that comes from learning and ensuring that we continue to collaborate. Delivering the best services, best resources, best opportunities to our residents requires maintaining and expanding an open and honest exchange of culture and ideas with the rest of the world, which again is where all of you come in. Already you have shown that in times of crisis, this community will band together to meet the needs of our people and protect our most vulnerable. The support during the pandemic in securing PPE, sharing valuable public health knowledge, and so much more is a testament to the power of what's possible when we lean on your wisdom and embrace our role as a global city. So we're so grateful for your partnership. Now, one specific ask I want to put forward, this is a brainchild of Chief Idawu's cabinet as well. We want to invite you all as part of truly rooting our cultures and communities in Boston in the brand and the identity and the recognition of our city. Please help us take part in our brand new Legacy Business Program, which was just launched last month. To honor the commitment, investment, and impact that small business owners have made in our communities for decades, this program is looking to identify 25 Boston businesses that have been in operation for at least 10 years and that reflect the pride and culture and ideas in our communities. These businesses that will be selected will gain access to a recently established $1 million Legacy Business Grant Fund, as well as amplification on city platforms, free legal consultation, and promotional partnerships. The Global Affairs team today has flyers and nomination forms. I see James already getting them ready to wave around. And so I know you have much on your plate, but we have our flyers available in 10 different languages. So please take one and help us spread the word, because so many of our small businesses, in fact, represent the thriving entrepreneurship economy that many of our immigrants first bring to this country, to this city, and are wildly successful in creating jobs and wealth in our communities. We would love to partner and support the businesses that you help us identify as well. And I also want to say that Hispanic Heritage Month begins this week, and we're looking forward to hosting programming with community groups and consulates to celebrate our Latino community here in Boston. I'm a little bit nervous about the El Mundo roasts and telling jokes though, so I'm glad tonight we can keep it a little more serious. Thank you again to WorldBoston and the Cosular Corps and everyone here tonight for being part of our global village. For centuries, Boston has been a gateway to and for the rest of the world. And today, we're describing Boston's vision as the city that is the greenest anywhere, the city that is for everyone, where families can thrive, the city where we cure cancer, do good, and truly bring people from all around the world who want to contribute to the world and make a difference in people's lives. Together, we will carry that legacy forward and empower our communities here and partner communities abroad to find the freedom, security, prosperity, and joy that all of us deserve. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for your work.
Good evening. My name's John Barrows, and I'm the managing principal for Cushman Wakefield here in Boston and a proud sponsor of WorldBoston. I'm here today for a quick toast to diplomacy, a quick toast to the diplomatic corps, a toast to our mayor, who not only understands the importance of the international community here in Boston and what it means for us, but also understands what it means for all of the residents of Boston. She understands that if you're gonna build a Boston for every family, that you build a Boston for every family. And so that's why I wanna quickly say thank you to our mayor, and I am proud to be a resident of a city where you are our leader. Fall is typically a time when we have new members of our council corps here. And so I wanted to particularly welcome the new consuls who are starting their time here with us tonight. And I wish all of the consuls success as you embark in a new season. WorldBoston started the practice of toasting diplomacy online during the depths of the pandemic, recognizing that extraordinary work that diplomats were doing every day at the most challenging time on behalf of all of the citizens of our city and the larger community. Diplomacy is not just speeches and receptions. It is also a lot of basic work. It is service. But while many details are involved, it is not trivial. It is the pursuit of the ultimate way for nations to coexist, for nation communities to work together, for communities to bond and solve problems, and it is and to make sure that we have a better planet for all of us. Diplomacy is also a skill, an ideal for all of us in this multicultural and rapidly changing world. So I ask everyone here tonight to raise your glass, and if, like me, you don't have a glass, put your hands together, and in any language that you may want, to toast diplomacy. Cheers.
Thank you all, and thank you for patiently waiting to go and have an actual toast, not a virtual toast. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and let's do it again next year. Thank you very much. All right, so now we're going to invite the consuls to come off the stairs. So please, and we're going to invite our sponsors. If you have a green dot, come right up. So green dots, come on up.